Hi everyone, I'm Derailleur from Wiser Biker, and today is the time that I want to give you some update about my bike. Alright, so if you remember that in January, sometime late January, I have upgraded my bike, and that is changing the group set to a Sensah Empire Pro. So today I want to give you some update about this Sensah Empire Pro, the problem that I have experienced while installing it and how I resolve it. Well, for those of you who just joined us and if you didn't see my bike before, this is what I'm using. Is the Koozer RS1500. It's the all aluminum bike, and the original group set that comes with the bike was a Shimano Derailleur. It's a 10-speed. It's the 2x10 speed group set. Look, I have no problem with the Shimano Derailleur. In fact, I loved it. It was well sufficient for my usage. But the reason why I chose to change it to a Sensah Empire Pro at this point of time is that we have heard a lot of good reviews about this Sensah Empire Pro. And as you know that there are just so few brands of group sets in the market, and it's always Shimano, SRAM, and Kempe. Sometimes you see some Chinese brands, but this one has gotten a lot of good reviews, and it only costs a fraction of the premium brands, and it can support up to 12 speed. Isn't that interesting already? So because of that, I've decided to test it out and see whether it is really as good as we have heard it. Now, here are some problems that I experienced when installing this Sensah Empire Pro, and the number one issue is that the Sensah Empire Pro supports up to 12 speed, right? So very naturally, I bought a 12-speed cassette. But without knowing that my wheelset doesn't support 12-speed cassette. So what happened was, when I had a 12-speed cassette on and shifted all the way to the lightest gear, the pulley arm here will scratch against the spoke of my wheel. So the ideal thing to do was to change my wheelset to one that supports a 12-speed cassette, right? But at that point of time, I already got myself a new wheelset, which supports only 11-speed cassette, right? So the only thing that I could do and not break another hole in my pocket was to stick with 11-speed. So I bought a new cassette, 11-speed, and it solved the problem. And by limiting the derailleur, I was able to work on 11-speed smoothly. The second problem that I faced with the Sensah Empire Pro was the front derailleur. When I install this setup and I test it out on the bike stand, it works perfectly fine until I brought it out for a road test and the front derailleur started to fail me. I was quite nervous because I was on a climbing road. I planned a long climbing road on that day, but the derailleur failed me and I wasn't able to shift it to the bigger chain ring. And that is quite scary, and I read some reviews online that quite a number of people face problem with the front derailleur, apparently on the older version, the Sensah Empire version. And I thought that this Empire Pro might just have the same issue, and that got me quite worried. But after coming back to my workshop and readjusting the cable tension, the problem was resolved. And now it works perfectly fine. So here's what I realized, and it is a pointer for you as well. If you're installing new shifters or shifter cables, there could be a chance that the cables are not fully stretched when you have installed them. So always bring your bike out for road tests, maybe go for 10-20 kilometers and try fiddling your shifters as much as possible so that your new cables get stretched, and then after that you can come back to your workshop and do some minor adjustments to it, and it should work perfectly after that. Alright, so at this point of time, all the concerns that we have faced with the Sensah Empire Pro has all been resolved. I must say I'm very happy with these shifters at this point of time. They are good. They're very smooth and very snappy when I'm shifting it up and down. The only thing is that I need some time to get used to the shifting mechanism because it is different from the Shimano ones that I've been using. But this is similar to a SRAM setup, apparently, that it was designed by an ex-SRAM engineer. I really love the ergonomic of the shifters. They are very comfortable to hold on, and even though I wear cycling gloves, it doesn't feel very difficult to grip or doesn't feel big. It doesn't feel bulky. It fits nicely onto my hand. So yep, so far I am very happy with the comfort of this setup. So as I said earlier on, at the point of time when I was upgrading the group set, I've also gotten myself a new wheel set, and that is the Koozer RS1500 wheel set. And it is still an aluminum wheel set. Now, I know you guys might be asking, why not I go straight to a carbon wheel set? The reason is I want to get myself a really good set of aluminum wheel set and to see the performance of a good aluminum wheel set before I move on to a good carbon wheel set. Because at the time when I move on to a good carbon wheel set, then I can do a fair comparison for you. Otherwise, I'll be just comparing a good carbon wheel set to a normal aluminum wheel set or stock aluminum wheel set. Then definitely there will be a lot of improvement, a lot of performance gain, right? So just to know how big that gap is, I got myself this Koozer RS1500, and here are the spec of this Koozer RS1500 wheel set. The spokes are using DT Sweet's Champion 2.0 stainless steel, and the front wheel uses 20 piece and rear wheel is a 24 piece spokes. The nipples are Pillar DSN Superlight alloy, and it's got a rounded straight pull profile. For the front wheel, it weighs 720 grams, rear wheel 900 grams, and total the wheel set weight only 1,620 grams, and that is very light for aluminum wheel sets. The hub itself is a Koozer RS330. It's very engaging. It is a 6-port 72 click setup, and so far, as compared to my stock wheel set, it does give me much more responsiveness, and I was able to pick up the speed much faster. And of course, while changing the wheel set, I might as well put in new tires as well, and that is our trusted Continental Ultra Sport 3. One of the most budget friendly, at the same time very reliable tire that we have used. Okay, so other than all the performance differences, let's see how these upgrades have affected the weight of my bike. Now, at the stock setup, coming with all the previous parts, the original parts, the bike weighs a total of 10.3 kg. What about now? Ooh. Right, so now it weighs only 9.3 kg, and that is effectively 1 kg of weight shaving. Well, I would say this is already very, very good in my opinion. I mean, after all, I did not put in any carbon parts onto this bike, except for these shifters and the derailleurs. But I would say the weight aren't that significant. So, and there's only just a little bit of carbon involved in this whole bike. So, well, guys, I think this will be my final upgrade for this bike, this aluminum bike. I mean, I don't think I'll put any carbon parts or components onto this bike, because I know, guys, going carbon is a road of no return. So I'm going to keep this Pink Panther purely aluminum. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching my bike upgrade today. The next time that you will see my beloved Pink Panther will probably be after my at least 500 kilometers of riding, and that should take me about a couple more months. I hope shorter, but I've been really busy with my schedule, so I hope got more time. I'll see you soon with this. For now, just maybe you want to spend a few more seconds with this beautiful pink lady. Alright, thank you very much. Hope you like our content today. Do remember to like and subscribe. See you.